Genesis. And it keep on bothering me. So we gonna talk about this shit. You hear me? At M1 Support Service. You hear me? Because that's on the corner of motherfucking Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street in McKinney. Anyway, I'm trying to shut me. See that? See that shit? So anyway, listen now. I looked at the word Genesis, and it looked like is genes. That's Genesis. So, cause you know, words and spells and everything. This Bible thing in our faces and stuff. You know, y'all, this shit like is wild to me because we have a Carl Gene Young Park that is in Denton off of Wood Street, right? You know, because we are roots and everything. You hear me? So anyway, since we developing shit, you know, because this is the development center, you know, it did. You hear me? Denton Development Center, and it says Discover Denton, right? So since we discovering shit like Christopher Colombo did, you understand what I'm saying? I discovered some shit too. And since the word Genesis means is genes, I have broke down the word gene. Genes mean birth, place, right? Then because we have a Carl Gene Park, I looked at what Carl means. You hear me? You know, I've been playing with Genesis in the Bible, and when I keep looking at the word, it looks like is genes. Y'all, like that's Genesis, right? Because I know this is wordplay, you know, and a spell, you hear me? That is ironic, but it's not. That word look like is genes. So y'all know what a gene is? And you know we got a gene park down the street off of Wood, you know, street. And you know wood is a root, right? It grow like a plant, right? So anyway, because it's we Bible thumpers and everything like that, and I'm decoding or Morse coding or deciphering that Bible to show y'all that this is the walking Bible. These here streets that we walking on, you know. I'm giving y'all the gossip, I'm giving y'all the tea. Y'all hear me? So anyway, so when I looked up the word gene, it means birth, place, right? In Latin, because you know this is the Tin Man, the Wizard of Oz shit, you know, because we be missing the heart and stuff, you know. You hear me? So anyway, and I do got a heart on my nose too, because you know, follow your nose like Toucan Sam and shit, you know. So anyway, so what I did was looked up what Carl means. Let me show y'all this shit right quick. Hold on, cause you know, like I said, it's a Carl Gene Park off of Wood Street and shit like that. You know, that be telling a story and stuff like that. They got a splash pad over there too. You know, you know, when I be making discoveries, you know who show the fuck up. You hear me? You hear me? Let me show y'all this shit right quick. Y'all see that M1 Support? You know, my name is Marjoriana, and I'm the woman, and I'm here support services and shit. Cat got my tongue. I just see the cat. You know, you got mail type shit. Because this is off of Elm Street. And you see Hercules, that's where I'm at right now. This is off of Nightmare on Elm Street. And McKinney. Kin. Because we all kin and shit like that. Anyway. You see the world wrapped around the ring. And this Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm at Hercules. You know, Hercules, and then McKinney. K-I-N is kin, right? You see Aladdin's castle. Anyway, and I be having my boots on the ground and stuff, and I be noticing the cats. They're on the ground, like that cat. You see this cat? that I had that on. But anyway, yeah, I'm just showing y'all the bullshit. You know, and the fact that this M1 Support Services is at 300 North L 300. You know, like Holy Trinity 3. And they added the 00. You know, that's a 00. But anyway, on the corner of this Hercules right here, y'all see that door? It says TLC. That's on my license plate. And it did a funny dip when I came up. I had to come up the stairs, which is weird. But across this building, I'm gonna take y'all to this building because I see some shit. You know, because we living in a loophole and stuff like that. Sometimes most of the time stuff is placed in specific spots for a reason. And I'm gonna just show y'all what the fuck's over here. Hold on. So I think this building is the old city hall, but it has this Department of Energy bullshit or whatever. And I know this is Halloween or whatever, but like I said, we living in a loop, so they place shit in specific spots for a reason. You see all this stuff? You see the PX and everything, you know, X marks the spot and all that shit. But anyway, like something ain't right. I don't walk around and see corner of Cedar, because that's when you mix up the words and shit like that, because we living on the scramble board and shit. Cedar, you know. Deer with an A though, you know, because if they would have put an E, it would have been obvious, and that's my last name. But anyway, McKinney, you hear me? But anyway, let's go on Pecan, or Pecan, or whatever the fuck you want to say. Let's go on that street. Let me show you around this building. I really am curious to see what this building is. So this is Cedar and Pecan right here on this corner, and this is Pecan and Elm on this corner. And you see the collab, UNT, because you know the University of North Texas always owns some bullshit. Anyway, I wanted to point out this little octopus that's in this building as well, and they do this shit every fucking year. Put this octopus in this building. You know, octopus had 8 legs. You know what I'm saying? Or 8 tentacles. I don't know how to explain it, but it has 8 motherfucking legs. It's a Liberty Bell on top of that. They probably took it down. But anyway, the octopus has 8 legs and shit. You hear me? And 8 is the symbol of infinity. So this is the old City Hall building. You know. That's right there for a reason. You hear me? But anyway, you see that? That's what this is. You understand what I'm saying? So this is 1927 Denton City Hall. So from 1894, because you know, anyway, I ain't gonna talk about that. But 1894 into October 1927, the Denton City Hall was housed in the 1877 red brick building located at the corner of Oak and Oliver, which is down there, you know. Anyway, so they put it over here. Living in a loophole. I would loop my ass right on back around the motherfucking loop 288 today. You hear me? And now I'm on the other side of loop 288 looking off of Market Street, you know. Cause that's the Market Street. You hear me? E.T. Anyway, that's the mark, right? So anyway, off of Market Street now, cause right now I'm at Serve Denton 306, right? At past the bread store on this same side, you know, because there's 2 sides, you know, a left and a right, and I don't know which side it's on, but right now I'm on the right side, right? So as I came over here, I passed Prominence. prom, since we having prom and everything, and you know, I'm gonna show y'all because I'm gonna drive that way and show y'all. Give me a second. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video yesterday on this loop that we living in, but I'll embed it into this video after I'm done pointing out this shit. I'm gonna drive over there now. Skin cabinets, y'all. Did y'all see that? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video yesterday on this loop that we living in, but I'll embed it into this video after I'm done pointing out this shit. I'm gonna drive over there now. Skin cabinets, y'all. Did y'all see that? Oreo OI Roll is over here off of Loop 288, which is across the street from Simmons Floor Covering next to Pizza Hut, and Market Street is right here, right? That's where I was just at 306. So Market, the Mark ET is right here next to Simmons, because you know this is a simulation. And this is the O roll, you know what I'm saying? The OI roll, and that is FEMA right there. So let me show y'all down here. You hear me? It starts right there, you know, after the Loop Apartments right here. This is a loop. You understand what I'm saying? Off of Loop 288. So anyway, after Safran, it's a gymnastics place, and I don't know what street that is, but then this is FEMA right here. The First Federal Underground Center is right here, right? And then after you pass FEMA, which is 800 Loop 288, 8 is for infinity and shit and beyond. Right after that, it's the old DPS building right here that still is federally looked at. But this is the St. Cecilia Street that I was talking about. Right after you pass that, it's this Highland, like a whole Holy Land. You hear me? The white sign with the black letters, right? So after that, this street right here is Prominence. So the Prominence, y'all. Prominence. Do y'all know what that fucking word means? Prominence. Y'all see it? So anyway, I should have went on Holy Land because Highland, because this is hallowed ground, you know, on Halloween and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me tell you something. Prominence, and I should have went to Holland. That's what I should have went after you. This is Atlanta. This is like the first street you come to off of Prominence. But anyway, I should have went to Holland because it's a church back there, you know, next to FEMA, which again is the First Federal Underground Center. And how ironic that we get to Prominence in Mayhill, because this is Mayhill and this goddamn electric power thing. You seen that motherfucking city of Denton right there? Because you know we all connected and everything like that. And it says 135 because you know if you add a 3 and a 5, it's motherfucking 8. But if you add that 1, it's a 9. Because we all connected, right? But anyway, I'm just pointing out the motherfucking obvious of the bullshit and everything like that on this goddamn earth and stuff that. But anyway, Mayhill just so happened to run into the waste management plant that is connected to Spencer generating power plant. Like, what? Now listen now. Then it's a bread store which is called Mayflowers. I mean, excuse me. It's off of Mayhill, but it's called Flowers Bakery and shit like that because, you know, you came from a womb and, you know, every woman has yeast and everything. You understand what I'm saying? With the bread and everything. We just passed Meals with a S, so it's plural, right? Street right here, which is connected to Denton ISD. You know, because I'm taking y'all to school or whatever, because you know I live off a mill without the S. And this is Mills with the S over here. Anyway, you know, and don't let me get to talking about Denton ISD and what they did to my sons. But you know what? Who am I? Secure self-storage. You hear me? That's what I am. We back on McKinney, because we all can. You see what I did there? The other day I told you I was lighting the wick. This is Ignited Fellowship off of Mockingbird, because that's what they've been doing, mocking the fuck out of us. And off of this corner, after the fire station, it's a street that's white letters with black white sign with black letters. It's called Lane, and that's by this church called Grace Point off of Bel Air. You can't see these signs, so I'm moving too quick. But Bel Air is like, you know, the Liberty Bell and the motherfucking air, the pilot and shit, you know? Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know, type shit. And I told y'all about A and B, you know, the man and the woman, you know, the alpha and the beta, right? Like, because, you know, alphabet, you know, anyway, alpha and beta and stuff. But, you know, after that, Bel-Air, you know, is a park called Mac, because, you know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a Mac and shit, you know, the Return of the Mac and all that stuff, you know. Anyway, I was going to show y'all Wood, but you know what? I've already showed y'all this goddamn park, this Gene Park or whatever, and I already showed y'all Audra and motherfucking Woodrow and how it's connected to Colorado, and it's cold over there, you know, especially when you dig underground. You hear me? Yeah. But anyway, y'all already know these bail bondsmen and in the Mission, Denton, and all that stuff is over here. You know, the juvenile and all that stuff, because you know you got to sacrifice your sons. That's what they said, right? But anyway, it used to be the homeless shelter. You know, we always find our way back home. This is the homeless shelter. They moved it to Loop 288. You know that homeless shelter is called Old Dirty Bastard. ODB, for real. It's called ODB, Our Daily Bread. You know, because we breadcrumbing motherfucking niggas and shit, right? So anyway, after that water dickety do where the puzzle pieces are that start at the motherfucking Frederick Douglass Moore Park, you know, it's Spencer's Auto Repair, because you know this is a vehicle and everything, and I'm in a vehicle, but this is Mission Denton, because it's been the mission of Denton to keep us in the motherfucking box. But anyway, Morse, there it is over here. Now I talked about that in the video. You gonna see that shit. But you know, that's where I'm going, is Morse, and I told you about Sir Isaac Newton, because you know, Isaac is but anyway, Isaac and Abraham, go look that shit up in the Bible, because the Bible tell you some shit too, you know, because I just don't use one source, I use a couple of sources, you hear me? But I get my information from one motherfucking source, because you know, we all connected to one source, you hear me? It's funny that it's two DISD trucks, didn't ISD? Now, in front of me by this Fred Moe school. You understand what I'm saying? Like shit. Because we all connected to one motherfucking source. You see that one? That's the first one that's turning. That's Didn't ISG, right? They trucks just raggedy. You hear me? And if you look down this street, you'll see it's really connected to Texas Women's University. But you know, that's just me. You know, they Allen wrenching us and shit. You know, this is Allen Street and everything like that. But anyway, this is coming from the street walker, and I walked the green motherfucking mile, you hear me?